Some of your most viewed videos are about how to handle narcissists in our life. So many people have a narcissist who's a parent.
Right.
And they didn't even know what that meant until a year ago. And now they're like, whoa, I was raised with that. Or perhaps it's a partner or it's friends.
She knows. She knows. Oh my God, this is so funny.
That's like what's actually out in the world because of people creating hate. It's not just a tabloid. It's not just some story. You are making me scared.
Meghan Markle's best friend marked her 45th birthday by putting out a podcast episode on how to spot a narcissist. No card, no photograph, an hour on how to work out whether the person in your life has no empathy and only ever serves themselves.
Jamie Kern Lima, who last year was leaving gushing birthday notes and all of this kind of stuff on the internet. And of course, the problem is this year she didn't put out anything at all and now has a lovely podcast going on about how to deal with a narcissist.
Who could she be talking about, Paula?
I'm not sure, but I do think it's interesting.
A year ago, that same woman flew in, sat down opposite Meghan with the cameras rolling, and told her she loved her, told her she was an inspiration to women everywhere.
That is you, my friend. I love you.
I love you, and I know you are a narcissist. And now, become so despondent, I'm gonna host an episode of my podcast talking all about it. We see you, Jamie Kern Lima. We feel you.
That clip went round the world, and half of you watched people take it apart at the time. On the 4th of August, Meghan turned 45. From Jamie Kern Lima, nothing at all. What she put out instead was a conversation with a communication coach called Jefferson Fisher. And Fisher does not soften a syllable of it. They don't have empathy, he says. They don't do empathy, only themselves, and that is the whole of it. And before anyone calls that a coincidence, stay with me. Kern Lima has never said Meghan's name. Not once, not anywhere, not in a single line of it.
Again, it all just feels rather pointed, as you say, on the week where there was no birthday message at all.
You know, there are a lot of people who were like, well, maybe they sent it privately, but in Meghan's world, if you don't send something publicly, it didn't happen.
That is not the weak part of this. That is the whole design. You do not stand at the front of a church and name the sinner. You describe the sin slowly for an hour and let one woman in the third row feel her own face go hot. Now, 2 people wished Meghan a happy 45th birthday. 2, Serena Williams, who handed Meghan her entire Hollywood career, stayed quiet.
Serena didn't wish her happy birthday. Of course, they're not really talking anymore. Beyoncé, she of the text, didn't do anything. The Kardashians, also insanely quiet. The only people who wished her happy birthday were Kelly Zafjan and Tracy Robbins.
The Kardashians went, and this is Paula Froelich's word for it, insanely quiet. Abigail Spencer, who put out a gushing tribute this time last year, went nowhere near it. Here's what makes that worth 20 minutes of your evening. Every single one of those women used to adore her, publicly, loudly, on camera.
The most subtle, least subtle way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, she knows. She's seen all of the codes. There was no birthday post last week, even though there had been a birthday post the week before.
So this is not a video about who ignored her last week. This is what each of them was doing for her before, set against what they are doing now. And a third account posted her a birthday tribute that day. When you hear whose it was, you will understand how bad this has got.
No response is very much a response. If you think that somebody didn't answer your text for 5 minutes, this might say something. They didn't answer it for 5 days. So the power of the pause and the silence by not responding to it at all is often the most powerful move you can make.
So is it really a coincidence that as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are quietly trying to hawk their Montecito home without putting it on the market and going through the embarrassment of having to do that, we learned Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, 2 of their sworn Hollywood enemies, could be looking to buy in the area, with Hello Magazine asking the question, are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to follow in Prince Harry? They're certainly wouldn't be any between those two couples.
Start with the two names Meghan chased hardest and never landed, and watch what she was prepared to do. She wanted Taylor Swift on her Spotify podcast so badly that she sat down and wrote her a letter by hand.
She was just so disgusted about why you would turn on your own blood relatives in the way that these two did. I mean, Taylor is very, very much a family woman through and through.
Not an email from a producer, not a call between agents. A handwritten note from a duchess to a pop star, asking her to come on the show. Taylor said no. Then Meghan turned up at one of her concerts and asked to be taken backstage.
Well, also, it's funny that you keep showing Taylor backstage, because I had broken the news years ago that attended a Taylor Swift concert and very desperately wanted to go backstage to say hello, with the note saying Taylor just rests her voice before every
And that so
concert.
isn't true. That so isn't true.
That so isn't true, she said. If there's a celebrity Taylor wants to look after, she will see them. Read that again. It was not a policy. It was a decision, and it was about her. Where is Taylor Swift now? Photographed backstage with William and Catherine.
I think trying to link Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is ludicrous. I mean, Taylor and Travis have absolutely picked a side, right? So if they are even considering buying it's one of many properties. They wouldn't even spend much time there. But, if they were considering in Montecito, it is clearly nothing to do with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. These two are out and out now on Team Prince William and Catherine.
And this week, the property pages started suggesting Taylor and Travis Kelce may be buying in Montecito, which would give Meghan a new neighbor who has already turned her down twice. Now Beyoncé, and this one she did land once. There was a text message. You remember it, and Meghan made absolutely certain you would.
They love famous people. They are very name-droppy. The association gives them a kick, but if someone stops calling them, they don't ask why. And think about that, because you could see it in the Netflix documentary, right? When they got the text message from Beyoncé. You could see how that gave Meghan Markle such a list, because deep down in her soul, she knows she's a D-list cable actress who Beyoncé would never have been given any time for.
She waved it about in the Netflix documentary like a hall pass, the proof that the biggest star alive had reached out to her personally. And a couple of months after Taylor's people showed her the door, she went backstage at a Beyoncé show and made sure it was photographed. Where is Beyoncé now? Froelich painted the picture, and I have not been able to stop seeing it. She's filing her nails in the corner, just trying to pretend she doesn't see Meghan. Birthday, nothing. And Froelich told us exactly what would happen if these people were ever in a room together again. Somebody with her selfie stick would run up to Taylor and go, "Just a quick one." Click. Posted the next day. She wrote a letter by hand. What she got back was a sentence about somebody's voice. This chapter is the cruel one, and it is cruel for a simple reason. These three women did not merely know Meghan, they made her. Serena Williams introduced Meghan to her Hollywood agent. This was back when Meghan was a bit part actress on cable that nobody in that town could have picked out of a queue of 4. Serena opened the door, she came to the wedding, and she threw herself into the baby shower.
Perhaps most intriguing is the fact that Serena Williams has now turned as well. And she hasn't turned in the sense that they're no longer friends at all, but are they close? Alison Boshoff says no.
As recently as last November, there was a magazine cover with Meghan calling Serena a lifelong friend. So what does lifelong look like in August?
Serena is making a real point by saying that her loyalties lie with these people who are rivals to Meghan, or who have fallen out with Meghan.
Alison Boshoff went and asked, and the answer came back in 4 words. I hear Serena is fine with the couple. Fine, that is the word. Not close, not devoted, not lifelong. Fine.
Because I could just authentically be myself without so much preparedness.
And in May, Serena stood on the Met Gala carpet posing with Edward Enninful, the former Vogue editor Meghan fell out with. Of all the people in that building to be photographed beside, draw your own conclusions from that one. Birthday, nothing. Then Jessica Mulroney, who was not a guest at that wedding. She was the chief bridesmaid. Her children were in the bridal party. She was the closest friend Meghan had in the world. In 2021, Mulroney got caught in a storm of her own and lost her television show.
Jessica got a little bit in a social media bust up, and it happened at the height of BLM, and the woman she was kind of arguing with in in DMs on Instagram, was a woman of color, and so for that reason, Meghan Markle, who had apparently been looking for any reason to dump her friend, promptly kicked her out of her life.
And Meghan, the friend she had stood beside at the altar, said nothing. Not a statement, no line of support, nothing in public, then or ever. Meghan's old agency boss, Gina Nelthorpe-Cowan, summed the entire pattern up in 3 words that have gone around that town ever after. Meghan moves on, and the last one hurts in a smaller, sadder way. Abigail Spencer, her old Suits colleague, was the last loyalist standing. She defended the Netflix show when nobody else would.
Abigail Spencer last year went public. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I think it does make sense because I think people just have had enough.
Every woman in this chapter gave Meghan something she could not have got on her own. Not one of them is still standing there.
And I call her the fake Duchess, now never understood, is that the reason these people attended the wedding was because she was giving them an opportunity to have proximity to the British royal family. And these Hollywood celebrities are awful. They don't do real friendship. Oprah don't do real friendship, okay? The Clooneys don't do real friendship. Neither do the Beckhams, actually. Neither does Idris Elba. It's all about what you can get, how this positions you, how something enhances the brand.
Pull up the wedding photographs from the 19th of May, 2018, and go along the pews. George and Amal Clooney were in those pews. They later found room for Meghan on a private jet, which is not a small favor, and there was Lake Como. So here is Froelich on where that friendship really stood, and it is the coldest sentence in this entire file.
All my life, and then Oprah Winfrey had met them once. She was a guest. The Clooneys, the guests. I mean, never met them before, but they were the guests. And, I thought to myself, this is all showbiz rubbish.
And they side with the actual royals. Never friends. She invited them to her wedding, and they were never her friends. The Clooneys run an annual awards evening honoring humanitarian work, and the couple who describe themselves as prominent humanitarians have never once been invited, let alone honored. Idris Elba DJ'd her wedding reception, stood there and played the records.
And Boshoff reports for the first time that friendship has ended in the same way for the same reasons, and that is because Elba has been a prominent supporter of the King's Trust. And again, I reported this previously, is doing a Netflix show with the King. He made his choice. And he's actually a nice guy.
He picked a side, and he did it without one unkind word in public, which is somehow worse. David and Victoria Beckham were in every photograph for a spell, and then they were not.
Meghan and Harry are utterly furious about it because the Beckhams are almost filling the void that Harry and Meghan left. And they're totally pro-monarchy. They're bringing the glamour, they're bringing the celebrity, they're bringing the style, and they're not bringing the baggage.
Watch the timing on this, as that is the tell. The Beckhams withdrew back when it was still fashionable to be a friend of the Sussexes. Anybody can leave a sinking ship. They got off with the band still playing. David now stands beside William and the King. James Corden M. seed the wedding. Drove Harry around Los Angeles on an open-top bus for a television special. Gone quiet.
David and Victoria Beckham were completely disgusted with the way that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle acted. And sure, they blame Meghan, but it doesn't mean that they accept that Harry acted in the right way. I mean, for God's sake, he got David Beckham to fly halfway around the world with his sons to Sydney for the Invictus Games and then refused to meet with them. Now, Meghan wasn't anything to do with that. That was on Harry.
And here's the detail that finished her socially, which has nothing to do with how much money she has. A source told the Daily Mail that the couple asked for a great deal to be spent on them, on the basis that it is a privilege to be in their circle and that they consider themselves entitled to all the private planes. Clooney's jet. Serena picking up the hotel bill at Lake Como. Then, at the very end of that list, the same source dropped 3 words that did more damage than any of the rest of it.
They think they are entitled to all the private planes. The source also believes that Meghan is cheap or stingy in British parlance. She is the cheapest, the insider claims. The burgeoning friendship with the Clooneys ended, however, with Megxit. The source says the Clooneys now want nothing to do with them.
She is the cheapest. Angela Levin explains the machinery, and it is duller than a feud and roughly 10 times more effective.
I think part of it is that because they're involved with the King's Trust, that they don't want to actually upset the King and come across anything that can be an argument or Harry demanding something.
Almost every name in this chapter is tied to the King's Trust. They give to it. They turn up for it. They get their picture taken at it. So the arithmetic is not complicated. They will not do anything with Harry and Meghan that might upset the King. Nobody held a vote. They each worked it out alone and got the same answer.
So they've just decided these are the people who are giving towards the charity and making people who live in the street to give them a chance. That's where their first thank you becomes. And so they don't want to do something with Harry and Meghan that might upset the king, or he could make some very rude things about the king.
Needy Meghan Markle is love bombing Jennifer Aniston with gifts ahead of the actress's move to Montecito after her stalking ordeal, but sources say the star wants the Duchess to get lost. Sources tell Radar Online the Duchess is using the actress's recent ordeal to love bomb her with gifts, including her posh jam, in a bid to win her over ahead of the actress's move to Montecito.
Now, here is where I stop being polite about it, and it is not the wedding guests. It is the neighbors. Jennifer Aniston bought in Montecito, and Meghan said about her immediately. Artisanal jam, made by hand, luxury wellness parcels, notes inviting her to come by for a chat, to come round for lunch, and an invitation onto the podcast, which gives the whole game away. And that is not a friendship. That is a booking request with a jam jar attached. The story that went round Montecito, and it has been going round for over a year now, so they say, is that the lot of it went in the bin.
She's not looking to expand her social circle at the moment, and here's the kicker. She also sees Meghan as poisonous and wants nothing to do with the drama she creates around herself and with the royal family. So this just gets even more mortifying. Jen has quietly binned Meg's gifts and not replied to any of her desperate invites for chats. She knows Meg also wants her as a guest on her podcast, but she is having none of it. She doesn't want her jam or her friendship.
Angela Levin did not need a second to think about it.
She goes on and on and on, sending things around until the person starts feeling, okay, I might do it. Or, oh, look, I don't want to upset her too much. Poor thing, she's always so sad. But she's not. She's a tough woman herself. So that's it. If Meghan wants to send her stuff, it's going straight in the bin.
And then Levin said the thing that draws blood. And note, she never went after Aniston at all. If somebody doesn't want you, Levin said, you step back quietly. But she is so desperate that she would even make a jar of jam herself and send it along. It's pathetic, isn't it? Pathetic.
Well, it's a jam which you make by hand, and it's full of beautiful things that nothing has got any special additions to it. It's just very pure and very healthy. Now, most of the jams have been done by a factory and are not like that. But she's so desperate that she would maybe even make a jar of jam and send it along. But, it's pathetic, isn't it? If somebody doesn't want you.
Not rude, not cold, not difficult. Pathetic. That is a woman in her 70s reaching for the one word that cannot be worn as a badge of honor. And I keep coming back to one question about the woman down the road that I cannot get past. And half the internet worked it out before the press did.
Jennifer Aniston is just like, I don't want the drama. I'm moving to Montecito to be safer. I do not need this drama in my life. I mean, come on, this is a woman who already has a huge amount of media attention. And the last thing she needs is to be constantly connected with the toxicity of Meghan.
Jennifer Aniston's closest friend on this earth is Courtney Cox. Harry wrote about Courtney Cox in his book. He was not kind about her, he was not brief about her, and he did not ask her first. So has it honestly never once occurred to Meghan that her neighbor is not confused about her and is not too busy for her? She read the book. Make of that what you will. Gwyneth Paltrow lives near enough too, and Meghan's people once briefed that the pair of them were great friends after a single sighting at a sushi restaurant.
So the way that Gwyneth Paltrow decides to do this initially is she just tells Vanity Fair, oh, I don't know Harry and Meghan at all. The journalist is obviously like, what the hell? And then Gwyneth, and it's really awkward, has to clarify saying, I mean, I've met Meghan, who seems really lovely, but I don't know her at all. And then the ultimate kicker is she says, maybe I'll try to get through their security detail and bring them a pie. Oh, I was just like, this is so bad.
Nobody has done more damage to Meghan in 10 years, and Gwyneth never raised her voice once.
The salty Duchess has just managed to get a new word into the Urban Dictionary. And this word, I think, could sum up quite a lot of what the Sussexes are currently going through. Unsussexful. You get it?
Last November, Kris Jenner turned 70. Jenner posted photographs with the Sussexes in them. Kim Kardashian posted photographs with the Sussexes in them. Both sets came down inside the week, deleted. A source put it about that the family didn't want to ruffle feathers with the monarchy. Funny that they both had the same thought on the same morning. And 15 months ago, on a British news program, somebody named Jamie Kern Lima and the Spanx founder Sarah Blakely out loud and warned that at the first sniff of scandal, Meghan would throw them both under the bus. It landed the wrong way round. Kern Lima left first. You couldn't make it.
£60 million for 500 people to compete. And again, as we saw in Tom Bower's book, nobody actually shows up to watch the athletes. They show up for the big concert, which in Vancouver was Katy Perry. Who's going to play in Birmingham? We don't know. But it's just a lot of money, and people are not sure where it goes. And there's not a lot of money left over. So where are you spending this money? Is this allowed to happen? Where are the accountants?
The people went, so did the deals. And the numbers on this are genuinely brutal. Oprah Winfrey gave her the interview that shook a monarchy, put the As Ever jam in her favorite things list, and called her my neighbor Meghan. That is the warmest public gesture anybody in Hollywood has made toward her in years. So here is Froelich on what that friendship really is.
Oprah does not like being played. She is a rich bitch, whether I agree with her politics or not, or I like her that much, she is a boss. And she realized after that interview, these two are playing me. They played me. She sat in my face and lied.
Oprah has been long-arming the Sussexes for some time. She cannot let them drift too far away. And if something happens, one of the three big Ds, divorce, death, or drama, she will want the interview. But she is not actually friends with them. Divorce, death, or drama. That is the entire basis on which the most famous interviewer alive still takes her calls, not a friend keeping in touch.
And that's so cynical, isn't it? Who wants a friendship like that? Who wants a transactional friendship? Oprah is keeping you there, sort of hanging, in case you get divorced, in case there's a royal death. It's truly grim.
A broadcaster keeping a slot warm, and that slot only pays out on the worst day of somebody else's life. The brass neck of it, Spotify handed them $20 million. Their own head of podcast innovation, Bill Simmons, later got on his show and said the podcast should have been called the F-ing Grifters. Said it twice, in case anybody missed it, has never taken back a syllable.
They are laughing at her. They are laughing at her the same as they did with the South Park episode, with the Family Guy episode, with them being called lazy F-ing grifters. With every attempt that they have done to create something worthwhile, their educational programming that was going to teach the masses, bring communities together, and it's just been a load of waffle. It really has been a mass combination of everything that they touch. They've got the reverse Midas touch, and people call them out for their hypocrisy.
Netflix handed them $100 million. This month, Netflix looked at the documentary the pair of them executive produced and said no thank you, and told them to go and sell it somewhere else. They took it to Sundance, no buyers. A smaller company eventually picked it up. Then the box office arrived, and good grief.
It's not improving. Now, I know you can say, okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday isn't as big at the box office as Friday, Saturday, but given Friday, Saturday was so bad, really, if the cinemas...
On Sunday, it took $118,000. Monday, $40,000. The average take per cinema has now fallen to $466.86. No cinema on earth keeps a film running on $466. And the film was beaten at the box office by a compilation of internet cat videos.
What's even more embarrassing and damning is that Meghan's movie was beaten by a cat compilation video. It was literally a documentary, I use that very term loosely, about a bunch of internet cat videos just slammed together. And that is, to me, it says it all, really. It's like, I think Roger Ailes once said about one of his anchors who was quit. He goes, that's fine. Get a woman swinging a dead cat in Times Square. She'll get more viewers. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about Meghan as well.
Froelich's verdict on the whole exercise: woeful and embarrassing. Meanwhile, the games Harry built his reputation on now have a nickname doing the rounds that I suspect is going to stick. The Ingrifters Games, £60 million for 500 competitors. And as Froelich asked on air this week, where are the accountants? $100 million in deals, $466 a cinema.
That Project Diana is backfiring. The number landed just as Meghan marked her birthday with a string of posts that had royal watchers doing double takes, a tutorial on building an ice cream sundae in parfait glass, a kitchen dance in a plastic happy birthday tiara, and most eyebrow raising of all, a photo of her leaping into a pool clutching balloons in a pose strikingly similar to a famous decades-old shot of Princess Diana jumping into the ocean.
There is a phrase Froelich uses for what Meghan has been doing all year, and once you have heard it, you cannot unhear it. Project Diana, the perfume, outfits that are never quite the same and always close enough. The whole act borrowed.
Here's the deal. There is a school of thought that the PR team is saying, and Meghan, because Meghan, again, her allure to Harry is, my mother sent me to her, and my mother would have approved. And, he's obsessed with his mother. Meghan wears the perfume. Meghan, you can go online and just look up Diana and Meghan.
And on her own birthday, she posted a photograph of herself leaping into a swimming pool holding balloons, in a pose that any British woman over 50 recognized instantly. It is a decades-old shot of Princess Diana jumping into the ocean, restaged by a woman turning 45. The absolute audacity of it. There was also a tutorial on building an ice cream sundae, and a video of herself dancing around a kitchen in a plastic party tiara.
And Meghan is wearing all of Diana's outfits. Now, granted, they're not the exact same clothes, but they look very similar. She's going for the similar look. She is going for the similar ethos. She wants people to think of her as Princess Diana, that Diana just blessed her and sent her out this way to her son, and they're just so similar. And it's just really backfiring because people are now just looking at it and going, this is really creepy, girl, you got to stop it.
The same week, YouGov published its quarterly numbers. 18% of Britons now view Meghan positively, the lowest she has ever recorded. 61% of them view her unfavorably. So back to the count, 2 people wished her a happy 45th birthday. Tracy Robbins and Kelly McKee-Zoffin, 2 women most of you have never heard of. And I mean no unkindness to either of them. They turned up and nobody else did. And the third account, As Ever posted her a birthday tribute that day. Happy birthday to our founder. As Ever is Meghan's own company, her brand, her staff, her sign-off, wishing her a happy birthday in public. She threw the party. She filmed the party herself.
She's going to a party and she has to publicize it. She has to make somebody else's day about herself. And she does this by when an announcement comes out from the palace, like a birthday coming up, an anniversary, she drops something. She always feels this need to compete. And sadly, she will always come up short when it comes to comparing with the real royals.
Then she posted the whole thing and her own payroll sent her a card. Fisher had one more thing to say in that episode, and it lands differently now. When
a narcissist is behaving that way, so you just have the power within yourself. It's that power of detachment, of saying they're going to be who they're going to be. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be who I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to whose voice are you listening to, and that you don't need an apology, their aha moment, the light bulb to click. If only you think you could just change them, they'll be everything that you want, and they'll finally see it. The power is all within yours. You don't need that to heal.
The apology is never coming, he said. They're going to be who they're going to be. 8 years ago, Oprah, the Clooneys, the Beckhams, Idris Elba, Serena Williams, and James Corden all got on planes for her wedding. This month, it was 2 friends and a jam brand, and one of those 3 was on her payroll. She has run out of countries, run out of friends, and she is very nearly out of story.
The fact is that you would imagine that she's a very, very unhappy person. She can't look at things in a positive way unless she's winning something. But to tell all that, to let all that out, actually telling people how awful she is, who wants to do that? But actually to tell hundreds of people that you're really awful needs some understanding.
So tell me in the comments where you land on it. Did Jamie Kern Lima aim that episode squarely at Meghan Markle, or is the whole internet joining dots that were never there? I read every single one. Hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who care about these stories. And subscribe, there is a lot more coming this week. The next one ships in the next few days, and it is the birthday photograph, the watch, and the bracelet. You will want to be here for that.